right, we're focusing on the Grudge series. The verdict's expected in Southampton very shortly. The hearing has begun in Southampton. Latest news coming in that the hearing has begun. The verdict may take a while now, but James Anderson and the England camp did arrive for the ICC hearing on his altercation with Ravindra Jadeja in the first test. Headlines today has this exclusive footage of James Anderson entering the hotel. Anderson has been charged with a level 3 offence for allegedly pushing Ravindra Jadeja on the second day of the first test at Nottingham. Meanwhile, Stuart Broad was also seen entering the hotel and then later exiting to collect some notepad. We believe that was in his car. Remember, Broad is one of the witnesses in the case. He's supporting Anderson's case after Anderson denied the charges made against him. The ICC will be hearing the Ravindra Jadeja appeal also later in the day after he was fined 50% of his match fee. All right, joining me in the studio is former cricketer Nikhil Chopra. With me from Southampton is my colleague Shivani Gupta. She's been tracking all the hearing, the developments that have been taking place so far. Rasesh, he's at the BCCI headquarters in Mumbai. Shivani, coming to you first. Any inputs coming in? Earlier we spoke to you, you said the hearing had begun. Of course, we see these exclusive visuals that you've sent us as well.
Yes, the only real update, Sana, right now is that the hearing has begun, and we did see just prior to the hearing beginning, as I mentioned a short while ago as well, Stuart Broad, who's one of the key witnesses for the English team, coming out, going to his car in his parking and just taking out his iPad, what it looked like. Then Matt Pryor, well after the hearing had begun, stepped out as well of the hotel and went to his car again and picked up a pile of documents, what it looked like. Then he was also in a chat with the Indian pacers, Ishant Sharma and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. It was a mild-mannered chat, just shared a few laughs. Ishant Sharma also came out, went for his rehab. Remember, he's injured and Dhoni has already ruled him out of the next test match, which is a big blow for India. He went back in. But the only update really is that the hearing is on right now. We're going to know maybe in an hour or so till when the hearing could continue. Remember, the Jadeja hearing continued for 2.5 hours. This could maybe take that much time or a little less because the case is the same. The arguments roughly are going to be the same. The crucial part is going to be if there is any video evidence that the BCCI will present at all to support their case in this matter.
Okay.
But the Indian team, the rest of the Indian team, as the news we brought to our viewers yesterday itself, while Dhoni, Jadeja, Gautam Gambhir, who are involved with this case, Sunil Dev and others, though, the rest of the team with Sunil Dev and the media manager will move to Manchester in the team bus, which is actually right next to the exit at the hotel.
Right.
Dhoni, Jadeja, Gautam Gambhir will stay back, so will the lawyers and MV Sridhar, who's here for the hearing. The rest will move to Manchester, and if the hearing, is over soon after that, then the rest will follow in a car.
All right, Shivani, stand by. I'm going to come back to you in just a bit. Nikhil, if I were to ask you, things are stacked heavily against James Anderson and for Team India, but we are not expecting a final verdict today per se. It could take a little longer, but what we can expect is some word on Ravindra Jadeja. Could that be an indication as to where things are headed?
Absolutely. I guess now that the BCCI was allowed to appeal against Jadeja's fine, this goes to show an indication that obviously there must be some sort of evidence that was shown to the ICC, because that's the reason why they were allowed to appeal. And if Jadeja's fine brought down, dramatically, 10% or just completely rubbed off, okay, that just goes to show then who's the guilty party, because at the very start, as far as I remember, it was Anderson who started it, Anderson who provoked. And also, don't forget, you can go and give a little bit of verbal spat on that cricket field, but you're not allowed to push anybody or touch anybody. So Anderson, if he's gone and crossed the line and there is some sort of evidence... So the Judicial
Commission will be very closely monitoring the crucial moments before they went into that lunch break, that last over.
Well, without a doubt, from that very first delivery of the last over, I guess that's what transpired the whole thing. When there was a caught behind appeal that was turned down, Anderson got really close to Jadeja and started giving him the verbal spat. And we've got those photographs while they were walking out from the ground towards the dressing room for lunch. there was Jadeja, there was Anderson. Anderson was waiting for these guys to come with Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He started giving them the verbal, and that's when Mahendra Singh Dhoni tried to come in between these two players and tried to calm things off. And that's exactly what Mahendra Singh Dhoni said in that press conference as well. Because of James Anderson waiting for us to come closer to him, start giving Jadeja the verbal spat, it had got to a certain extent that I myself had to come in between these two and try and calm things off. And that's when he walked a couple of paces ahead and Ravindra Jadeja was just behind. And he said that's when I saw all of a sudden Jadeja lose his balance. So that's the time maybe James Anderson pushed Jadeja.
So that was a conscious effort, to control any sort of heated exchanges that could, complicate the situation further on the ground itself. Rasesh, my colleague, is standing by the BCCI headquarters in Mumbai. If I can quickly go to him as well. MV Sridhar, Rasesh, we believe, is leading the case for the Indian team. He was the Indian team manager during that monkey gate, in Australia back in 2008 as well. So that's a positive point for India. Any inputs you're getting from the BCCI headquarters regarding the hearing?
You're right, Sana. MV Sridhar is there. He was there during 6 years ago during the Monkey Gate saga. He was a media manager of the team then. Now is, of course, the game developer is looking after cricket operations here in BCCI. Is one of the managers here. And yes, someone who's got that sort of experience. And one would think he would be one of the persons who would do a lot of the talking. Ravindra Jadeja may well be a silent spectator and put forth and just answer the questions that are put forth. Also, the lawyers which have been employed by the BCCI. I think if you can relate the two incidents, when cricket matters are fought not on the field of play, judicial commissions, it is a grave area. It's an extraordinary situation, which it is right now, which it was 6 years back. The only difference is during the Monkey Gate saga, Sana, India was the accused. India had to put up a defense to defend Harbhajan Singh. This time around, India is the one which is making the allegations, and it is for the English team to defend themselves, and India on their front maintain that they've got a strong case, because the whole line of argument continues to maintain that there was no provocation, if any, that was from Anderson, not from Jadeja.
Right, Rasesh, also there's this talks of that BCCI footage that the Indian camp has access to, but it's not out in the open yet. We'll have to really wait and watch what happens at this crucial Slanderson hearing that's going on. India slapping charges against James Anderson, in the bargain Jadeja being slapped with level 2 charges, later being reduced to level 1, and now things looking pretty much in India's favour. Shivani Gupta, my colleague, is standing by. She's at the venue of that hearing in Southampton. Shivani, any buzz around you?
Well, Sana, if I can just tell you, there's this window just above on the first floor here at the Grand Harbour. We just saw Stuart Broad and the English coach just peep out a little bit at us. They're looking at the media crew. We're the only ones really here for a long time, very curiously. And Stuart Broad was seen talking on the phone. So the demeanour right now suggests that the actual proceedings haven't quite begun. We're almost an hour through the scheduled time. It's 10:10 here in England right now. The demeanour just 5 minutes prior, you came to me with the Stuart Broad just sitting by the window and talking on the phone, suggested that maybe the exact hearing hasn't started, or that their part is not started yet, because we also saw them stepping out after 9 a.m. here, which is the hearing time, to just collect something from their cars, what looked like an iPad. Matt Pryor was out to collect some documents, and the English coach was just peeping out at us as well. So maybe the Indian camp is right now in the video conference room, and they are making their case right now, and maybe the English camp will enter later. I'm not sure how I can confirm this, but it's suggested that the English camp hasn't quite started talking to the Judicial Commissioner yet. So that's the only update here, really. Stuart Broad, the English camp, Matt Pryor, looking a little, solemn. That's all I can say. It's a huge occasion for them. Not easy to come and, do this judicial hearing and make their cases. But it suggests right now that the Indian camp might be making their case. It could be that they're making their cases separately, and then in the end, the Judicial Commissioner could listen to them together. So the English camp just waiting for their turn, it seems, right now.
Absolutely. That seems quite a possibility, going over the cases one by one. First the Indian side, perhaps later the more complicated case of what exactly it is that is going to happen to James Anderson. All right, the Grudge series, it has in fact become for real. We are tracking the crucial verdict in the Slanderson saga that continues. Ravindra Jadeja's case is being heard in Southampton, also James Anderson case, and we're expecting a verdict sooner than later. My colleague Shivani Gupta is tracking details for us live from Southampton. She's outside that hotel where this crucial hearing is on, or rather about to begin. We have no concrete confirmation on that as of now. Former cricketer Nikhil Chopra with me in the studio. My colleague Rasesh joining me from outside of the BCCI headquarters in Mumbai. But first, let's play out this exclusive interview to Headlines Today from Southampton, where interim BCCI President Shivlal Yadav, speaking to my colleague Shivani, said he hopes that the ICC will do justice and that the guilty will be brought to book.
It's judgment day, literally, for James Anderson, the English pacer. And also for Ravindra Jadeja, after the BCCI was allowed to appeal his 50% match fees fine. I have the interim president of the BCCI, Shivlal Yadav, with me. The very fact that the BCCI was allowed to appeal against Jadeja, which is in itself setting a precedent of sorts for a level 1 charge. How confident are you that you'll win the appeal for Jadeja?
Well, we are very confident. That's why we made an appeal. And we hope that it will come in our favor.
We are also hearing this talk about India being very confident about the charges against Anderson. Why do you think, first of all, that the Indian captain and the Indian board has pursued this matter with the kind of force that it has? Because the captain certainly feels very strongly about it. How does the board feel about this?
Well, we are backing the captain and the coach. We are backing the team. And we hope that ICC will do justice and the guilty will be punished.
How confident are you about the charges against Anderson then, sir? About the level 3 charge? Dhoni made it very clear. He narrated the entire incident to the media as well in the press conference of, the blow-by-blow account of what happened. Under the light of what he has said, the witnesses, how confident are you that it won't just be a one man's word against the other?
Well, as I said, we are confident and we are backing the team. And we hope that justice will prevail and the guilty will be punished. So beyond that, it is not fair for me to comment anything at this juncture.
But we are also hearing that the Indian camp has occupied the video footage, some sort of a video footage that shows James Anderson pushing Jadeja and also shows the fact that Jadeja didn't do anything at all to insinuate the incident. Can you confirm that?
Well, we have not received, I have not seen anything of that nature. If and when we receive it, we'll definitely share with you.
But are the BCCI lawyers and the BCCI trying to procure footage?
Well, we have asked for it, but as of now, nothing has come out of it.
Don't you find this a little strange, sir, that Trent Bridge authorities say that they don't have footage for that day when they have it for the previous day and the day next after that?
Well, it is for you all to judge. We are making our efforts, so let's hope the justice will prevail.
What would the strategy be for the lawyers? We also hear the lawyers are briefing the team. What would the strategy be when the case is presented before the Judicial Commission?
As I said, it's not for me to, tell the lawyers how to go about their job. It is for them to work out their strategy. And as I said, guilty should be punished and justice should prevail.
Dhoni has been very adamant that, his player has been penalized wrongly. And that is why he was so adamant that this appeal should be made, even though it's setting a precedent. So far, level 1 charges haven't been appealed. Can you just tell us how this came about? How did the ICC allow the BCCI to appeal? What was the technicality on it?
Well, I can't tell you all the details about what and how we went about it. So, as things stands today, we have appealed in Ravindra Jadeja's case and we have got the appeal in our favor. So it is for ICC to decide now what is the next step.
One final question to you, Mr. Shivlal Yadav. If there is no video footage, you're saying you haven't seen it, the BCCI is trying to procure it, there were some murmurs that you have it. If there is no video footage, it becomes one man's word against the other, it becomes one team's word against the other. If we have witnesses, England have witnesses too. Do you think in that scenario it is very difficult to punish a player?
Well, that is where the Lord Justice will be coming into the picture. So we'll wait for the outcome and how things will move from there. We'll have to wait for the a final outcome.
But you would agree that if there was a video footage and if BCCI gets its hands on that, then it would be easy.
Things would have been very simple.
But they aren't
right now.
All right, just final comment about, this thing about one man's word against the other. The fact that Jadeja was fined, do you think that's an indication that the Judicial Commissioner believes that yes, something happened, and if Jadeja was fined, then Anderson certainly can get a ban, isn't it?
Well, you are making me the judge and the lawyer and the say.
But given by indications,
it will not be fair on my part to give any kind of judgment as of now. Let us wait for a day, and then we'll all come to know what is the final outcome.
But the BCCI is firmly behind the captain, because we heard in between that the BCCI was not so keen about Dhoni going ahead and pushing for an appeal.
No, absolutely wrong. We are right from the beginning. We have backed our players, we have backed our team and the captain. So let us hope that everything will be in our favour.
All right, Mr. Shivlal Yadav, thanks a lot for talking to us. That's the interim board president telling us the BCCI is firmly behind MS Dhoni, Duncan Fletcher and Ravindra Jadeja. They hope that they'll not only get the appeal corrected against Ravindra Jadeja, but also a fair verdict against James Anderson. With camera person Kashif Siddiqui in Southampton, this is Shivani Gupta for Headlines Today.
All right, there you heard that exclusive interview of BCCI's interim chief. Before I go back to my colleague Shivani, just a short question with Nikhil first. Do you believe that the BCCI since the very beginning has been right behind the players, or is it only after the Indian side, especially MS Dhoni, really pressed on this matter and stood up with Ravindra Jadeja, did it got the full backing of the BCCI?
Well, I guess, Sana, in most cases, the board has always backed their players. Make no mistake about it. But in this particular case as well, because captain was so adamant, and all these events transpired in front of his own eyes.
Right.
So he has to go out there and back his players. Otherwise, what good is a leader who doesn't back his player?
Absolutely. In fact, Shivani, I'm coming to you. I believe you have some exclusive visuals once again for us from that hotel. If you can just send them across and we can really talk about them. What did you actually see while you were standing outside waiting for that final word on what happened at the hearing?
Yes, Sana, as I was saying just a short while ago, there's this room just behind me on the first floor. That's where it seems Stuart Broad, English coach, and the other players are just waiting, it seems, because Stuart Broad was at the window. You have those visuals already, if we can play them. He was just by the window, just talking on the phone and looking at us curiously a little bit. It seems that indicates that the English camp hasn't quite gotten to the act right now. They haven't started talking about the case with the Judicial Commissioner. Maybe it could be that the Indian team is making its case first. They'll be heard separately, or it could be that the Jadeja appeal is being heard first and then the Anderson hearing will start. We don't quite know how it will play out. Maybe at the later stage both camps will sit together and there could be a meeting, a video conference with them together in the same room. Right now it seems the English camp is just waiting to make their case heard. That's what it suggests. Maybe they've entered the room now, but just till 2 minutes ago, Stuart Broad, the English coach, other players were just waiting in a room, speaking on the phone, perhaps discussing the strategy.
Right. In fact, as you described those visuals, you're playing them simultaneously. You clearly see Stuart Broad by the window, clearly suggesting that the hearing on the at least the Anderson side hasn't really begun. Maybe the Indian camp is currently giving out statements to the Judicial Commissioner. Once again, if I can go back to Rasesh for a brief moment to talk to him about that video that you even spoke to with the BCCI interim chief. Rasesh, any word till now on whether there's a confirmation on that video, any unconfirmed reports really about it, because that is going to really strengthen India's case.
Yes, there have been suggested reports that there is a video, but like I've said earlier, Trent Bridge authorities are dismissing that there is any video available and that they have shared it with anyone. The BCCI may have tried to procure it, but on the record, the Indian captain has come out and said that he's not aware of it. The interim president of the BCCI has come out and said that he's not aware of it. In the absence of a video, the BCCI will obviously have to maintain their line of argument. And I think it has to be said that the BCCI has all along taken a strong position right from the time, and that has all been strategically played out right from the time Indian captain putting out a moral case of saying that I am the captain of India and I am not lying, and my position is that there was no provocation.
It all boils down to these few hours when the hearing will take place, and we'll know exactly what has happened with Ravindra Jadeja and James Anderson. At this point, let me thank Nikhil Chopra for being with us in the studio here, Shivani Gupta for joining us live from Southampton, also Risesh. Many thanks to all of you for joining us.